It's the K-Country Morning Show with Gabe and Carrie.
You can listen to us on the K92.3 app and on this podcast.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Get the facts. For your free timeshare exit info kit, go to iCancelTimeshare.com. That's iCancelTimeshare.com. iCancelTimeshare.com.
It's the K-Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Miss Carrie Mack. Happy Tuesday morning. We're on the second day of the work week. How's your day yesterday, Carrie?
It was A-okay. How was your day?
It was good. It was a good start to the week. Glad to be here with you today. Other than basically just kind of relaxing and sprinting through episodes of Yellowstone. It was just kind of a chill day at the house yesterday.
That's nice. I did some shopping on Sunday, and I went to Target. I'm back on a no-spend week. No spend week this week. But you've
been on like a no-spend month.
I've been trying to just spend less in general.
Sure.
And I did pretty well the first week. Last week, there was just a lot of stuff going on, and I gave myself some grace with that. But on Sunday, that's the last day I'm spending money besides groceries and rent and all that stuff. I bought my cat a little pumpkin costume and a little bat costume. So Cornelia and August are going to be the spookiest little cats in the apartment building.
It's the K-Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. We're going to warm on up our brain stems here today. It is also October 1st.
Dang.
Today is a perfect time to remind you that, you know what? If your September stunk and you stunk in it, you have a brand new month to try to make up for it. So good luck.
It's crazy that it's October.
Yeah.
Like, my mind is, like, completely stumped by the fact that in, like, 30 days it's going to be Halloween.
And then we're off to the races. We get all the good holidays coming up. And then middle January, when we're all cold, it's dark, and we're depressed, we can all do that together.
For sure.
All right. Carrie, in 5 seconds or less, I want you to name 3 card games.
Uno, Go Fish, and Blackjack.
Okay.
Gabe, I want you to name 3 accessories that you could add to an outfit.
Bracelet, a watch, a bag,
a bag,
a purse or
there
whatever,
or a purse or a tote bag for you dudes.
Beautiful. I love it.
No shame on that.
All right, Miss Carrie, I want you to name 3 things that can make you blush.
Oh, God. There's quite a few things that can make me blush. The sun literally can make me blush. It's like a little, makes you warm. If someone I find attractive gives me attention.
Okay, yep.
And when I do something embarrassing, when I trip over myself, let me tell you, that is so, no thank you.
I feel you.
Gabe, name 3 things that make you blush. I'm curious about this because I don't feel like you get embarrassed.
I get secondhand embarrassment really bad.
Yeah, and that's rough when you hang out with me.
Yeah, I don't, like, whenever, it's hard to explain, but yeah, me personally, I do not get embarrassed all that often.
You ever watch an embarrassing moment on a TV show and fast forward through it?
When it comes to me, yes. Like, here's a prime example. You know, in the movies where, like, the nerdy guy ends up with the girl.
Yeah.
You know? There are moments where I'm like, I can't watch this, Corey.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get some water till this is off because I can't take it.
Yeah.
So I would say I get secondhand embarrassed a lot. That could make me blush. That's I guess, kind of, sort of it.
Does Corey make you blush?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Corey, yeah, I guess could make me blush. Carrie makes me blush as well when I'm just sitting there. It's almost like you just like go face palm and you're just shaking your head and you're like, oh, Carrie. So Carrie also makes me blush.
But not in the same way.
Not even close. All right, Carrie, can you name things that you can't do in the dark?
Put makeup on.
That's tough.
Walk. in a straight line usually. I struggle. And stare at my cats. I can't stare at my cats in the dark.
Yeah. See. You can't see.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts. Gabe, can you name 3 words that start with the letter C?
Calm. Courteous. Crazy.
3 words. Only one of those words would describe us, I feel like. No 2 words. Courteous and crazy. We're not calm.
Sure. Yeah, I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah. We're both calm in like different ways.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, for different things. All right. Carrie, I want you to name 3 things that are part of your nightly routine before you go to bed.
Taking a shower, brushing my teeth, and going to the bathroom.
Beautiful.
Using the commode.
Right on.
Gabe, can you name 3 coffee drinks you like to have?
An iced mocha with an extra shot of espresso.
That's me, espresso.
A hot mocha when it's cold with an extra shot of espresso.
And a medium.
And a latte, I guess. Or just
Okay.
black coffee. I drink a lot of that.
Yeah,
so.
you do that. That's funny.
It's the K Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack, and we have a very specific question for you today that all stemmed from last Friday when we did the Over the Edge, rappelling down a near 100-foot wall. When Carrie and I were walking up to this wall, and, you know, you're kind of just talking and shooting the breeze
Yeah.
and kind of joking around, we got into this conversation that I think we took a little too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, we were actually trying to figure this out. And we would like to bring it to the K Country Morning Show and whoever is hanging out with us here today, because it really is an interesting question. There's 2 types of people.
Yeah, there are 2 types of people. So let's set the stage for this. So we were in the car, I remember, and I didn't eat much that day, and I was very nervous that, like, if I didn't get something else to eat soon, I would faint when I was up there. So I was like, Gabe, oh my gosh, I am so nervous. What if I just faint while I'm like up on the top of this building? I don't know what would be worse. I'd rather pee my pants. You know, I'd rather pee my pants than faint on top of this building. And you were like, you'd rather pee your pants in public?
Yeah, like in front of a bunch of people.
I was like, yeah, because then I wouldn't faint, and that just seems dangerous.
Sure. I see. For me, I would much rather faint in front of a bunch of people. I think that's a lot less embarrassing. I think that would mean like, oh, something actually happened to this person. We're going to feel really bad for him.
Yes.
You know, if you happen to soil your shorts, it's just kind of funny for the rest of us around.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm a bit queen. I love a good bit.
Okay.
I'm not saying I would pee myself for a bit. I wouldn't. No. But if I'm someone who embraces embarrassment sometimes, because I am just such an embarrassing human being. So if that were to happen to me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Can you believe I did that? I also am just like so nervous that if I faint, someone catches me and they're like, oh, ooh, she's kind of heavy.
Well, so we want to bring it to you here today. What would you rather have happen to you? Would you rather faint in public in front of a bunch of people or soil your shorts?
Here's the thing. Soiling your shorts, like you can hide it.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, you can in some scenarios for sure.
Because if you faint, everyone sees it. Like everyone sees you go down. But if you pee your pants or you soil yourself, however we can say it on the radio, like if you're in a crowd, like people might not be able to see it happen. You could just go to the bathroom, you know, dry everything off and go on your day.
Let us know which scenario. We've asked some weird questions on the K Country Morning Show. Today is one of the weirder, I think, subjects we've ever had. Pass out in public or pee your pants in public. Which one would you rather have happen to you? It's the K Country Morning Show. My name is Gabe Glidden. I'm with Miss Carrie Mack. And most of eastern regions of Iowa will experience mild, snowy conditions come winter. However, the entire state precipitation levels, the total snowfall is to be predicted well below average. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I will not be mad at that. So if you're a fan of snow, this might not be the year for you.
But if you're a fan of like mild, I mean, we had such a hot summer. It would make sense that it's going to continue on into the winter.
That'd be kind of nice. Yeah. Iowans can expect to experience the most snowfall in late January and early February. And you can check more of this out on the K92.3 app. I'd be fine with less snow. The temperature, I don't think it bothers me a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You know, you can always kind of dress for that. There's just not much you can do when you're getting 10 to 12 to 14 to 7 to whatever inches of snowfall. That can really kind of put a damper on what you can do for the day.
I'm so conflicted because the cold here in Iowa is colder than anywhere I've been in my entire life. And maybe I'm a wimp because you're from Minnesota, so those winters are rough. I understand that.
Yeah, right. You got to get to like northern Montana or something.
Yeah.
Northern Minnesota, northern North Dakota.
I've dealt with so much snow in my life. Like I lived in Pennsylvania in the Pocono Mountains, so there was a lot of snow there, but it wasn't too cold.
Right.
And I went to school in upstate New York where there's a lot of lake effect snow, the big fluffy kind.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I will not be mad at a milder winter.
Oh, that'd be
with
great.
less snow. Oh my gosh. It's so nice. I can not go on my hot girl walks, but I can just, I feel like it'll be easier for me to not get depressed during the winter if the weather is anything like we have on the K92.3 app and as reported by the Farmer's Almanac.
Go check this story out on the K92.3 app. We have Parma Lee coming up as well as some Nashville news.
It's the K-Country Morning Show on K92.3, and it's time for your Nashville News Minute. Peyton Manning and Luke Bryan did a pretty good job hosting the CMA Awards for the last 2 years, but it seems like the producers of the show wanted to shake things up a little bit, and they're throwing Lainey Wilson into the mix. So there are 3 co-hosts, because let's be real, no one is hotter in country music right now than Lainey Wilson. And maybe we'll get to see Luke or Peyton in some bell bottoms. That'd be really cool. Either way, Lainey is sure to bring some solid energy to this hosting gig, and she might even go home with the Entertainer of the Year award as well.
Oh, wow. That'd be kind of cool. Not only you get to host, you get or potentially win, like the biggest award in country music.
It's literally your night. But again, this is going on Wednesday, November 20th on ABC, the 58th Annual CMA Awards, and it will be made available the next day on Hulu.
Right on. Yeah, they're going to be in Bridgestone Arena as well in Nashville. I mean, there's no better place.
I've been there. It's pretty sick. And you got to check this out on the K92.3 app. I'm excited to see Lainey co-host. Yes, there is.
Right on.
There is a single play on words, the driving. We're going to be talking about a situation with a driver in just a few minutes. You can get a bit of a sneak peek of it on the K92.3 Facebook page, K92.3 Waterloo.
All right. Chris Young, Dustin Lynch, and Mackenzie coming up. Dasha on the way. And we'll dive on into our Talk Back Tuesday. It's the K-Country Morning Show, and we've got a Talk Back Tuesday. And as Carrie used a little play on words earlier, it might drive you crazy as a parent.
Yeah, there we go. So we have this email. Everything's anonymous. You can chime in on Facebook or give us a call, 833-4985. So here we go. Let me begin by saying our son has brought us nothing but joy, good grades, polite, part-time job, and he's always seemed to be responsible. So when he got his license recently, we surprised him with a used car. Nothing special, but you know how exciting any car is at that age. Well, we occasionally go through his phone, just trying to keep an eye on everything. We were shocked when we found a video he shot of himself driving down a winding back road at 70 miles an hour. The speed limit is more like 35 there. This really caught us off guard, and we're not quite sure how hard to be on him. Take away the keys, sell the car, ground him a month. We've never dealt with anything like this before and don't want to overreact, but he could have killed himself or even someone else. I would really appreciate hearing the views of other parents who have had to deal with something as serious as this.
Wow. That sounds like a kid doing kid things, which is obviously not right. You can't be driving 70 miles an hour in a 35 miles an hour area. So, yeah, that's a good question for parents. I don't know what to do. Temporarily take away driving privileges, maybe, so they understand the seriousness of the situation. There's quite literally like no excuse ever to go 70 in a 35.
No, I agree completely on that one. I think... Again, we're not parents, so we really need you to chime in on this. 833-4985, call us up because we definitely need some advice on this. And it's when you're a teenager, like the car is such a cool thing.
Yeah, he's not the first kid to have done this,
And
he's not going to be the last.
Exactly. He won't be the last.
Right.
Like, you say he's a responsible kid. Obviously, if he's a responsible kid, it's because you instilled in him, for lack of a better word, responsibility. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You instilled in him good morals. You set good boundaries. So you just have to continue that with this and just be like, hey, we saw this happening. We don't like it. For me, I think you should take away the keys
For a little bit, yeah.
for a little
sure.
bit, and like have him just understand the consequences of his own actions. And man, that's just rough. Isn't there a thing where you can track like a kid's driving record or something?
I have no
Like,
idea.
isn't there something you can install in their car? I mean, nowadays you can do
Probably,
anything.
yeah. I'm sure they can keep track of it on an app, but I don't
Exactly.
know. I have no idea. I'm not up on all the parent technology gizmos for the kiddos. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have a clue.
I think you should have like take away the keys. He can drive it if you're in the car with him, but he has to earn back those driving privileges.
Yeah, I think you're right. And there is something to say here, and I don't want this to be construed wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
But going 70 and a 35, obviously you can hurt yourself, which is terrible. The
Yeah.
people around you are going to be devastated and what have you. But imagine hurting someone else.
That guilt.
You have to live with that forever.
Yeah.
It's one thing to hurt yourself. It's still sad. People are sad. Your family would be very sad,
Yes.
obviously. But to hurt someone else and then that's on you for the rest of your life,
That
no
guilt-
one wants to live like that.
just eats you
So,
away.
I never got in trouble for driving like this or whatever. I remember when I was a kid, I got pulled over. I was going like 44 and a 35 or something,
Yeah.
so that was a little quick, fine, whatever. And I remember a conversation with my dad. Obviously it's not like I was going 70, but he was like, hey, dude, just drive closer to the speed limit.
Yeah.
Here's why. There are speed limits. You could hurt yourself, which your mom and I would be real bummed. But imagine if you hurt someone else and had to
Yeah.
sit with that for the rest and try to go to sleep at night.
Yeah. yeah.
That's something that'll eat you alive forever.
Yeah, because that's totally right, Gabe. Like here's the thing, we don't even think of our own safety sometimes in
Right.
like maybe sometimes we do in a selfish way, but like if we hurt someone else, that just is something that will like literally rot away at your soul.
Right.
And we're getting deep.
Every single day of every single night, that's something that is, on your conscience or whatever.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to live like that. Not that accidents can't happen when you're going 35, but at
Yeah.
least you're doing everything you can to prevent it.
Exactly. So we want to know what you have to think if you're a parent and you've gone through this, or maybe when you were a teenager, you were the person going 70 and a 35. Give us a call, 833-4985. Give us some help in figuring this out.
It's the K Country Morning Show. Who's this?
Good morning. This is Lisa.
Lisa, how are we doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. What do you have for us today?
Well, about the email letter, I am the mother and my husband, of course, of boys only. They're all in their 20s now, but we went through with two of them similar issues with driving. And our method, I think the parent's instinct is correct. There needs to be some type of corrective action. I think selling the car is going a little overboard, but I think sitting them down, having a really, strong conversation about it, and then, yes, grounding them, taking away the keys for a while is good. And then reminding him that accidents do happen, and a prime example, unfortunately, would be the young people from Union Community School District. They're just a few weeks ago coming back from a game in Jessup, and there was a fatality. And what you also need to remember is that the prefrontal cortex of the brain is not fully developed until the early 20s. And so their reasoning capability of long-range effects, them or anyone else, basically non-existent. So it's not that he was being irresponsible, it's just that he really wasn't thinking and understanding what the long-term consequences could be. So, yeah.
It's nice to hear from someone who I think Carrie has, kind of firsthand, hands-on experience dealing with some kids who wanted to try driving a car maybe a little faster than they should.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't sit here and say I'm like perfect.
Yeah.
But for the most part, my parents didn't really have to worry about me speeding or kind of recklessly driving.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of someone else in our family's problem for a while there. But What I will say, to anyone who might be young and they're like, oh, it's fun, blah, blah, blah. The 20, 15, 30, however many seconds of fun does not outweigh a lifetime of oops.
Yeah.
If something bad happens. It is not worth it. And there are places you can go to drive real fast if you want, where you're allowed to do it. If that is something you feel like you have to do,
Yep.
go there and do it.
Get some bumper cars. Call it a day.
That's right. Get a good go-kart.
Yeah, as someone who, how do I say this? I wasn't the most responsible driver for a hot second, and I'll admit that. And I was very lucky that I never got, no one ever got hurt. But I
Right.
just count my lucky stars because I remember when I was a teenager, I was speeding. I was doing all of the stuff. I got pulled over the week after I got my license.
Sure.
And they were like, hey, where's your license? I was like, I literally do not have it physically. I only have my permit because you have to get, in Pennsylvania, you have to go through and get your license later on. You have to wait for the form to come in, all of that stuff. So I
Did
still
they give you a piece of paper?
Yeah, I had a piece of paper
Yeah.
in my permit, or there was a stamp or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, they give you something that you
Yeah.
can prove you have a license.
But I ran through a red light my first week after getting my license, and I'm just lucky that no one ever got hurt. So just being responsible is just, not only is it safer, but it'll cost you less money in the long run based off of speeding tickets, running through red lights, all of that stuff. And it's just going to save you a lot of heartache. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, exactly right. There's a lot more comments we can get to on Facebook very soon here on the K Country Morning Show. Big shout out to our caller there, though, who just, it appeared has a little bit of firsthand experience with dealing with some kids who liked driving a little bit fast when they were young and dumb.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? And
Before the
young and
frontal
dumb-
lobe fully developed.
Yeah, young and dumb's a little mean, but you get the point. We've all been young and dumb.
Yeah, let's admit it. Young, dumb, and broke.
It's the K Country Morning Show, and we have a Talk Back Tuesday here. Just the parents are dealing with a kid who was not really even just speeding. I mean,
He was zooming.
recklessly driving, essentially.
Yeah, he was zooming.
And they kind of want some advice on what to do because for the most part, this kid seems like a pretty good kid who,
Yeah.
either kind of got caught up in the moment, made a bad choice, was trying to show off, whatever. And that's kind of the sad fact of reality. Kids are going to make bad choices. That's part of growing up.
Yeah.
Thankfully, in this email, no one was hurt, but the parents want to know what's the best way to kind of move forward with this and address this issue.
And like you said, everyone's going to make mistakes at one point or another. It's whether or not you learn from them that's important.
Exactly. Yep.
Jazz said, take the keys away. There are too many reckless or distracted drivers, and it's too dangerous to have someone else who drives like this on the road. He needs to learn he could seriously injure or unalive himself or someone else. Them keys would be gone for a good while if any of my kids did something like that.
Yeah, and what was it, Carrie? They found he was going 70 or 75 or something.
He was going 70 and a 35, and he was recording himself doing it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like there might have been just doing some showing off for the Snapchat or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
But I did some quick math, Carrie, and that would be going 40 over the speed limit. And now I cannot confirm all of this. This is just straight up on Google.
Yeah, Google.net.
According to Google, after the quick Google search, if you are caught driving 40 over the speed limit, you're going to be fined somewhere upwards of $500
As you
minimum.
should.
That's minimum. It could be obviously way more, and you're going to lose your license upwards of half a year to a full year.
Yeah.
So if you're caught, parents don't even have to worry about taking away license. You're just going to get it taken away.
I'm going to say this as someone who is one of those, hired drivers sometimes. A good chunk of the people I drive around are people who have lost their license because of some irresponsible driving or substance. So just be smart because otherwise you might get Carrie as your Uber driver, and you don't want that to happen.
Right on.
Donna said, tell him you saw how he was driving, and he will no longer be driving until he takes more lessons and a class in the seriousness of his recklessness. That's a good point. Get him in a class.
Sure. Yeah.
That's punishment enough.
Yeah. Sit in a nice 8-hour reckless driving class.
Kudos to anyone who teaches
I'm
that.
sure it works.
It for sure. Jenny said, same with everyone else. Take the keys and lose car privileges. We have the Drive Safe and Save app. through State Farm. And as long as the numbers are good, our daughter gets free use of my car. If the numbers dip, we have a talk. If they ever got too low, she would have to start paying for insurance.
Yeah.
It works for us. I like that there's tools for this.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I do love that. On the way, we have got Jelly Roll. Sorry, I had to get back to my computer here. On the way, Jelly Roll. And there are some phone calls we still have to get to, some comments we still have to get to. So we'll kind of put a bow on this in about 10 minutes here on the K-Country Morning Show. It's the K-Country Morning Show with our Talk Back Tuesday today. Something... Yeah, all parents, maybe not all, but plenty of parents can relate to going through young kids driving too fast in their car. This is not the first time, nor will this be the last time that a parent has to kind of deal with a situation like this where they have their son and or daughter driving too fast in their car, and they just want some advice, which is on the K92.3 app.
Jane said on Facebook, K92.3 Waterloo, make him ride the bus again for a week. Write a letter to you sharing how he will change his behavior.
That would actually be pretty incredible.
Yeah, that would definitely change the tide.
Yeah, go to the bus, wait for the bus. And, buses, whether they're running on time, late, but you have to sit there and wait for it. You're kind of at the mercy of the bus. If the bus is a few minutes behind, you're waiting to get somewhere. I don't know if I'd go 1 mile an hour over the speed limit if I had to ride the bus for a month or something.
I hated riding the school bus so much. So honestly, this would be enough of a deterrent for me to never want to speed.
Yeah. And basically not all, but a lot of our comments are kind of saying the same thing, is you don't have to go so far as to getting rid of the car completely. He never gets to drive again. We're not saying anything like that, but basically we're going to take away those keys for a little while before the police potentially take them away for a long while.
Yeah. I think just be smart, be responsible. That's the basic thing. But also as a parent, I think just take the keys away and let him understand the consequences of his actions. And honestly, he's getting off easy. If he was caught by a police officer, he would be in so much trouble.
Yeah, he is getting off easy if you think about it. That's a great point. On the way, Jason Aldean. We'll also have our 8 o'clock hour coming up here, and we have got to talk about the cash cow code, which we will have for you at 8:20. And then the strangest conversation that Carrie and I maybe have ever had took place inside of a vehicle.
Yes.
And it involved Over the Edge last week, and just like a potential scenario that we want to get your opinion on today. That's kind of goofy.
Gosh, our boss is going to love us for this.
That's coming up all after 8 o'clock here on the K-Country Morning Show. Event with Cedar Valley United Way and Over the Edge. We were talking about what would be worse. We're up on this roof and there's a bunch of people around like looking at you and whatever. What would be worse or more embarrassing? To faint or...
To soil your pants.
To pee your pants. All right. The hard-hitting questions on the K-Country Morning Show. What would be more embarrassing in front of a crowd of people?
I was very irresponsible on Friday, and I don't think I ate anything until like maybe 3 o'clock. That's a no-go. And when you're going up that high, you need some like sustenance to make sure.
Not me. Not me. That would have not sat very well, I don't think. But I'd rather go in starving.
But I was starving and I was getting a little like, not dizzy, but I was like feeling a little weak.
Okay.
So I was very nervous I would get up there, they'd like strap me in and I just faint over the edge.
Right.
That did not happen.
Thankfully.
So I was very fearful of that. And I asked Gabe, like, what would happen if I did that? And he's like, at least you're not like wetting your pants.
Yeah.
I was like, I'd honestly rather wet my pants than faint up there.
And I kind of disagreed. So we'll dive on into this in our very mature 8 o'clock hour here today. And also don't forget your cash cow code coming up at 8:20. It's the K-Country Morning Show. And coming up in about 10 minutes, we're going to have your cash cow code, your chance to win up to $30,000. I was thinking about this the other day, Carrie, with $30,000. There's plenty of responsible things you can do and should do if you are the winner. Pay off some of your debts or pay down some of your debts Maybe use it as a down payment for a house, some land, whatever the case may be.
Put it away for college education for your kid.
Do you know what I would like to do just one time with it?
One time with it?
Just once. I don't ever have to do this again. I just want to say I did it once.
Okay, that's fair. Go for it.
I would like to sit first class in a really expensive airplane.
Me too.
Just one time, and then after that, I'm done. Then, kind of that mystery is over. I have never been someone who's gotten to sit first class on a plane.
Yeah.
Airplanes don't hate me. I think it's kind of a big, giant waste of money, but I will say to be able to do it once would be fun. I'd like to get that off the old bucket list.
I will say this as someone who travels frequently on planes. I am usually the person who pays the least amount of money because, we're trying to be cheap. And I'm always by the bathroom.
I was going to say, yeah, you're getting next to the toilet.
Yeah, which is convenient in some instances, but very inconvenient most of the time because I refuse to get up when I'm on a plane.
Sure.
I'm just sat for the entire ride. I'm worried that if I were to go first class, if I use this $30,000 to fly first class once, I'll never want to not do it again.
Sure. You'd get a little too used to the good life.
I'd be like, bring me the caviar. Where's the Prosecco?
Yeah, it is interesting how that works. It's kind of like when you get, let's say you buy a house and you have a 2-car garage.
Yeah.
You're never buying a house without a 2-car garage again. Corey and I, when we moved here, I was lucky enough to experience that luxury. I will never not park my car in a garage again for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying about if you sit first class once, it might just... You might get too used to it.
It might just ruin it for me. It's also the same exact thing as having an in-apartment, in-unit, washer dryer.
Yeah, exactly.
I refuse to have to I have to get quarters?
Yeah,
what?
Get the basket, schlep down the elevator. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. Right after we're done with the clothes, we just toss them in the washer.
That's right. All right, well, we're going to have that code for you in about 10 minutes, and then we'll dive on into just an interesting convo Carrie and I had in the car on our way to Over the Edge. That'll be coming up after your Cash Cow code. You can see what the question is up on Facebook if you have no idea what we're talking about, but we'll have that.
Get your diapers ready.
A little bit after your code on the K-Country Morning Show. It's the K-Country Morning Show with Gabe Glenn and Carrie Mack. We have got your Cash Cow code, your chance to win up to $30,000.
Are you?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, please.
I was not ready.
Rough. That was rough.
Hold on.
There we go. You can tell that cow has some indigestion or something.
Maybe a stuffy nose or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The code is?
591. Enter 591 into the free K92.3 app for your chance to win up to $30,000. 591 591.
591, as Carrie so beautifully said.
I didn't realize the rhythm I was doing it. 591.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we want to know, would you rather faint in front of a crowd of people or wet your pants in public?
With $30,000, you know how many pairs of pants you could buy? You would never have to not wet your pants again.
It's the K-Country Morning Show, and what do you think would be more embarrassing? If you fainted in public or you accidentally wet your pants in front of a crowd of people, which, you know what, we can all relate to. You've been nervous. You felt the butterflies before you're about to do something that, could be maybe scary or it's giving you a little anxiety. And we want to know, which one do you think would be worse? The reason we're asking this is last week, Carrie and I were going to go rappel down a 93-foot building.
No, nearly 100
Nearly
foot.
100-foot building, that's right. Unbeknownst to us, we thought, 30, 40 feet, this ain't nothing.
Yeah. we thought it was going to be maybe 4 stories.
All right, and we get there and realize how high it is. But we're talking about it on the way there, and Carrie was like, I might faint, up on the top. And I was like, oh, well, that's not that bad. At least you wouldn't wet your pants or whatever. And we were discussing which one would be more embarrassing.
Because in my mind, if I faint, I'm getting so much attention because I faint oh.
Yeah, because medical professionals are likely being called at some point, or someone has to help you in that scenario.
And I don't want that. I don't want that sort of attention and vibe. But again, I'm not choosing to wet my pants.
Right.
I would never choose to wet my pants.
Right.
But every now and then when I laugh a little bit too hard, I'm oh no.
Yeah.
Is that what's going to happen? I sincerely believe in my heart of hearts that I would prefer soiling myself in public to fainting in public.
Right. So, and I was the opposite. I would much rather faint.
And I know I'm in the minority. I know that. I know
Okay.
people would prefer to faint, but I just like when people are like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Get away from me. This is terrifying. This is embarrassing." But when the other thing happens,
Yeah.
everyone wants to stay away from you.
Well, there's two ways, in my opinion, you can kind of make a choice on this. Number one, if
Make
you
a choice. Like you have to choose.
if you faint, you're going to get attention.
Yes.
It is going. People around are going to notice.
Yeah, and if they don't, they're bad people.
Yeah, it's possible if the other thing happened to you that you could kind of sneak out of there.
That's the
and
thing.
no one would notice. The problem is if you faint, I think people genuinely feel bad and want to get you help, and it's more of a worried scenario. If you soil your pants, it's just flat out embarrassing.
But
there's no coming back from that.
People feel bad for you too, but also think about this logistically. Let's say you're in a crowd. You're in a crowd of people, and for some reason, it happens.
Yeah.
You know, the river is running, and you can't stop it. There is a good chance that no one will notice, especially if you have like a hoodie or something. You wrap it around yourself.
Sure.
You go to the bathroom, or you just are like, okay, we're going to maneuver ourselves out of the facility so we can go home and cry about this.
Well, we have someone named Jamie who has done both of these at the same time.
Oh, my
We'll talk
God. That would be the worst thing on the planet.
We'll talk about it in 10 minutes on the K Country Morning Show. It's K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Miss Carrie Mack. And, you know, we've had some interesting discussions on this show. And I will openly admit this one kind of bottom of the barrel. I'll be honest with you. But it was a conversation that did, I don't know, it kind of
Naturally
sparked an actual genuine question on which one of these would be worse. It's kind of like a hypothetical situation.
Yes.
Would you rather faint in front of, a crowd of people or accidentally wet your pants in public once again around a crowd of people? Which one would be worse? Let us know on the K92.3 app or Facebook. I am team faint. I think at that point, people actually feel concerned and bad for you. If you wet your pants, it's kind of like, what is their problem? Like, go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
But if you soil yourself, there's a chance you could hide it.
Yes, that is true.
There's a good chance you can hide it.
Just sneak on out of there.
You can sneak on out of there. If you've got a hoodie, if you've got a long t-shirt, you just pull it down and call it good. Then you just go home and get out of there and put on your diaper.
Jamie says, I've done both at the same time.
Oh, my gosh.
I fainted in a restaurant and then also wet herself when she did it. That actually, you win the day at that point.
That's a 2-for-1.
Yeah,
Buy one, get one free.
Exactly. I hope you got an extra hamburger with your meal there. What else are the people saying, Carrie?
Krista said, I would rather faint unless you faint and then wet yourself while fainting as well. Ooh.
Well, our person Jamie took care of that for us already.
Laura said, I fainted as a junior in high school waiting for pool at Burns to open. It was so embarrassing.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, I guess all of it I would rather neither of them happen to me, of course.
No, obviously, we're not like saying, hey, if I had to choose something cool to happen to me, I really want to faint. No,
Yeah.
Because both are just like a sign of a health problem, too.
Yeah, they could be, or just, whatever the reason is. This one's tough for me, but I'm taking faint still.
I'm still going pee all the way. Jessica said, peeing in public is embarrassing. However, if drunk, maybe less embarrassing.
I have friends who've done that. K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. It's 9:02, 52 and sunny. We've got Luke Combs, Brett Eldridge, Jelly Roll on the way. We wish you a happy Tuesday today. Also, it's K92.3 with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. We want to wish you a happy October 1st. I always love the start of a brand new month, Carrie. I think we've talked about this here on the K Country Morning Show before. But, if your September stunk and you stunk in it, October 1st, a brand new month, you get a kind of a chance to do a little bit of a reset if you would like. And there are some things you can, look forward to here in October. What's going on in October, Carrie?
Let me tell you, October is a good time for like movies and TV shows. But let's talk about sports first.
Okay.
The MLB playoffs start tonight with Game 1 of the World Series set for October 25th. The Yankees are going to be playing.
Beautiful.
I'm predicting that they're going to the World Series. I know they like won their league or something. The NHL season gets started this weekend with the first 2 games in the Czech Republic, and the new NBA season starts the 22nd, and the WNBA playoffs are continuing. New York Liberty is going up against the Las Vegas Aces, which has 2 Iowa players, Megan Gustafson and Kate Martin. So that's going to be interesting to watch.
Beautiful. Very exciting for sports. I love hockey coming back as well. That's great.
Yeah. I am confident that this year I'm going to get into the Women's Hockey League.
Okay.
I'm supporting the Minnesota Frost, Gabe.
That's great. I love that.
The Frosted Tips, you know.
I love
like
it.
Justin Timberlake had them. In movies, the new Joker sequel comes out in theaters this Friday. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm really
That's
looking
so soon.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I want to see that. Lady Gaga released an album along with it, and it's supposed to be really good. Saturday Night About the Early Days of SNL hits theaters on the 11th, and that's a movie I really want to see.
Heck yeah.
It's
Which one's that one called?
Saturday Night.
Okay.
It's it's the hour and a half leading up to the premiere of the first episode. The horror sequel Smile 2 arrives the 18th, and Tom Hardy returns as Venom in DC Comics Venom: The Last Dance on October 25th. And most importantly, the TV shows are back, baby. Love is Blind returns tomorrow.
Ugh.
Okay.
My wife will be watching that.
Okay.
Looks like I'll be scrolling on the phone for the next couple of evenings.
Law & Order SVU starts this Thursday. Abbott Elementary is back October 9th. And season 2 of Tracker hits CBS the 13th. Never heard of that show, but whatever. Season 4 of American Horror Stories, yada, yada, yada. And the vice presidential debate is tonight.
Right on.
Completely forgot about that one. And the American Music Awards are this Sunday. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony airs live on Disney Plus on October 19th.
That's beautiful.
Some big inductees include Cher, Mary J. Blige, Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Ozzy Osbourne, Kool and the Gang, and A Tribe Called Quest.
Right on.
And obviously Halloween, October 31st. Big one.
It's the K-Country Morning Show with Gabe Glidden and Carrie Mack. We're going to end today's program with a little game we like to call Celebrities Gabriel Doesn't Know.
Today is October 1st. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. You share a birthday with this 35-year-old actress. She plays Captain Marvel in the MCU, and she was in the Oscar-winning movie Room.
Yeah. Her name is, she played Marvel, Brie Larson or Brie something?
No, you got it. Brie
Okay.
Larson. I love Brie Larson. She is so cool. This 55-year-old is in the hotel show that you love.
Only Murders in the Building.
He plays Martin Short's character, I think. He was in that web show Between Two Ferns. And he was in The Hangover, I think.
Oh. Zach Galifianakis.
There we go. You
Yes.
know him. You know him.
I do know who that is.
I love that so much. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. This 79-year-old, he is a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, and that's all I know about him. That's all they gave me.
All right. How old is he?
79.
Okay.
He shares... No, I don't even know a song by this guy.
79. Okay, so I got to pick an old man. How about Satchel Paige?
Rod...
Harmon Killebrew. Rod Carew?
Yeah, Rod
He was a
Carew.
twin.
Oh, it doesn't say it on here.
You know what's funny? Hartman Killebrew was going to be my first guess, but I already know that he is no longer around. Rod Carew. Wow. Yeah, he played for the Twins for a long time.
There we go. This 89-year-old was Mary Poppins. She was in The Sound of Music, The Princess Diaries. She is also the voice of, I forget, Lady Whistledown in Bridgerton.
She was Mary Poppins. She was in Princess Diaries.
And The Sound of Music.
Julie something.
Julie Andrews. Let's start at the very beginning.
Julie Andrews?
Yeah.
Okay. I should probably have known that.
Do a dear, a female dear. Very good song. It hits. And this president turns 100 today, and he's the first president in the history of America to turn 100. We talked about him.
Oh.
He's a peanut guy, right?
Is it Carter?
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter?
Yeah, Jimmy Carter.
He is now a centenarian.
Look at that.
I think that's what people who turn 100 years old are called. A centenarian.
Isn't that the guy with the horse legs?
Sure. That'd be a centaur.
Oh, my bad, homie. Okay, let's move on to the people who are no longer with us. This is for all the Potterheads. This man died in 2002. He played Dumbledore in the first 2 Harry Potter movies.
I can never remember that guy's name. He was actually my favorite Dumbledore out of the 2. Mm-hmm. For any Harry Potter fan, you know who I'm talking about. I do not know his name, though.
He is Richard Harris.
I lied. I did know that guy's name.
Oh, my
gosh darn it. Okay.
Today is International Music Day. It's also National Poetry Day, Homemade Cookie Day, and World Vegetarian Day. And it is 30 days until Halloween.
Dude, today, there is a lot of days today. I'm pretty sure today is also National Taco Day.
I think, no, I'm not going to do it.
That sounds like an awesome lunch, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, no, it does sound really good.
The world's full of nice people. If you can't find one, you got to be one. We've got 30 minutes of nonstop country. And don't forget another cash cow code coming up for you at 10:20 here on K92.3. Have a good one.
Most tax pros leave a message.
It's Jane. I'm moving on to a TurboTax expert who beat your price. Adam Devine, tell him how I feel.
Hey, tax pro, she's been thinking twice. Best believe TurboTax will beat your price. This is a tax break.
Switch to a TurboTax Live expert and we'll beat what you paid your pro last tax season. Make the switch at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice. TurboTax full service only. Sign up by 12/20/2024 and file by 4/1/2025. Full details at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice.